Hola amigos tubiceros. De nuevo con ustedes, José Polanco. En esta ocasión les traigo una noticia compuesta. Se trata de algo que no se sabe cómo tomarlo, si como un chiste, o como una buena noticia. Su interpretación dependerá en gran medida del espectador. Se trata de una broma pesada que le hicieron a un par de personajes, entre ellos, nada más y nada menos que a uno de los principales encargados de hacer la guerra de Venezuela. El señor Eliott Abrams. Sin más, les dejo la noticia, y saquen ustedes mismos sus conclusiones. Todo comenzó con una broma o así les pareció a los prankers rusos que se hicieron pasar por el presidente suizo, Eliott Maurer. Los bromistas contactaron a Carlos Becchio, nombrado por Juan Guaidó como el encargado de negocios de Venezuela en Estados Unidos y le aseguraron que sabían dónde esconde sus activos el presidente Nicolás Maduro. Sin embargo, los bromistas telefónicos conocidos como Boban, Vladimir Kuznetsov, y Lexus, Alexei Stoliarov, también le hicieron una mala jugada al empresario de origen kazajo Nurlan Bayrilda, quien nunca sospechó que podría convertirse en la figura clave de un escándalo político internacional. Nicolás Maduro, presidente de Venezuela. Activos de Nicolás Maduro en Suiza. Bromistas rusos filtran quién está detrás de esa información. Los prankers le informaron a Becchio que el mismísimo Nicolás Maduro esconde sus cuentas en la fundación Nurlan Bayrilda Ltd. El único problema con la fundación es que ni siquiera existe. Según explicó a Sputnik la propia víctima de la broma, en realidad solo existe su empresa Tender First, consultora en el ámbito de licitaciones. Esta misma empresa tiene una fundación que ofrece apalancamiento financiero para sus clientes, nada más. La razón por la que Boban y Lexus escogieron a Bayrilda fue su fuerte presencia y promoción en las plataformas mediáticas, algo que según dijeron les molestaba mucho. Al parecer, a tal punto que decidieron tomar venganza. Abrams tuvo una conversación con quien creía que era el presidente de Suiza, Eliott Maurer. Sputnik publica la controvertida discusión en detalle. Detrás de la figura de Maurer en realidad se encontraban los bromistas telefónicos rusos conocidos como Boban, Vladimir Kuznetsov, y Lexus, Alexei Stoliarov. Ellos se comunicaron con el representante especial estadounidense para Venezuela para informarle que en el ficticio banco suizo Limpopo se esconden cuentas de funcionarios venezolanos cercanos al presidente Maduro. La última información de Bloomberg sobre los fondos de Nicolás Maduro en Suiza podría tener una fuente poco convencional. Bromistas telefónicos rusos. Todo comenzó con una conversación filtrada que sostuvo el representante especial de Estados Unidos para Venezuela, Eliott Abrams, con quien creía que era el presidente de Suiza, Eliott Maurer. Lo cierto es que detrás de la figura de Maurer en realidad se encontraban los bromistas telefónicos rusos conocidos como Boban, Vladimir Kuznetsov, y Lexus, Alexei Stoliarov. Haciéndose pasar por el presidente suizo, ellos se comunicaron con el representante especial de Estados Unidos para Venezuela para informarle que en el ficticio banco suizo Limpopo se esconden cuentas de funcionarios venezolanos cercanos a Nicolás Maduro. A la pregunta del falso Eliott Maurer, ¿qué hacemos con las cuentas?, Eliott Abrams responde: congelarlas. De lo contrario, dijo el representante especial, los bancos suizos podrían tener problemas una vez que el autoproclamado presidente Juan Guaidó llegue al poder en el país. Y aquí viene lo más interesante. La trampa. Aquí confiesa Abrams que no tienen intención de invadir Venezuela. Además, en la conversación reveló que Estados Unidos no tiene planes de intervenir militarmente en Venezuela, pero quiere hacer creer que sí. Nosotros no queremos ponerlo a usted y al Congreso nerviosos. Nosotros queremos poner nerviosos a las Fuerzas Armadas de Venezuela. Creemos que sería un error táctico darles garantías de que las tropas estadounidenses no entrarán ahí. Pero en realidad estamos haciendo algo diferente. Estamos haciendo lo que ve. Presión financiera, presión económica, presión diplomática, afirmó Abrams en la conversación con quien creía que era el presidente suizo.
Hi, this is Eliott Abrams.
Mr. Abrams, hi. This is Mr. Maurer.
Well, good. I guess it's good afternoon. How are you?
Good. I'm good, thank you. Nice to hear you. How are you there?
Pretty good. We're expecting some snow, but so far so good.
Thank you for your time. I would like to discuss with you our cooperation in the financial sphere, and particularly on the Venezuela issue. And I think we could be, we can help each other, and we have, and especially with things happened recently in Venezuela.
Yes. You know that we have a 25B certificate signed January 25th by Secretary of State Pompeo, certifying that interim President Guaido is in control of the account of the government of Venezuela, or the Central Bank of Venezuela, at the Federal Reserve Bank in New York and other banks in the U.S. In that sense, they're analogous to the oil-related sanctions, just trying to preserve assets. And we're trying, working with a number of European governments, to cut off the ability of the Maduro regime essentially to steal these assets. And we know that they have been trying to liquidate accounts. We're talking in total of billions of dollars of assets, and transfer them to places where they will have control, and where much of it, I think, will disappear. So from our point of view, we wanted just to assure that you were aware of all this, and that you would be applying a very high level of scrutiny to Venezuelan government or central bank accounts, so that the assets cannot be reached and taken away.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm aware about that. And so I would like to let you know that we have recently, our Attorney General has opened a case on the investigation of corruption in Venezuela. So we are closely monitoring possible financial irregularities. So, and you know, in our banks there are accounts of PDVSA, and I know that in the US their assets of this company are now frozen. So in Switzerland, they have accounts in several large banks.
So what is the status of those accounts now? The PDVSA accounts, any government accounts of Venezuela, central bank accounts of Venezuela. What is the status in Switzerland today?
So they have a very large amounts. So they keep their money in several large banks in our country. For example, Limpopo Bank. Part of the money came from Russia under contracts for oil production. So, however, we have not found any violations in this yet. So everything is clean, but I don't know what to do with that. So what do you think should be done in this case? So
I think everything should be frozen, absolutely frozen, because just to make sure that they stay where they are. So that's our view.
I have the same opinion, but you know, we need to have serious ground to do that. So I know that Russia has invested billions in the Maduro regime, so especially in the oil and gas sector. So that's a problem, because we have some pressure.
Yes, no doubt. We have now, I think the number is 52 governments, including 24 of the 28 in the EU, that recognize Guaido as the legitimate president of Venezuela. I don't know what the Swiss government has done, or if it has made any statement in this respect. But from our viewpoint, and that of 50 other governments, the Maduro regime at this point is an illegitimate regime, and it has no right to dispose of or to move those assets. And there is the risk for any Swiss bank that hands those assets over. There is the risk of future litigation from the future legitimate government of Venezuela, that the bank allowed those assets to be, in essence, stolen.
Yeah. So yes, we can do the same, and we can freeze assets, but we don't know on which ground. Maybe you can tell us. And there is another point. We know that Mr. Guaido took the power of the president until February 23. So after 23, they'll be over, as I know. And if we recognize him,
right? Let me interrupt to say that is not. That's a very interesting question, actually, which we also asked. And the National Assembly, which all of these Western governments recognize as the only legitimate elected body in Venezuela, has actually passed a resolution saying that the 30 days will not begin until Maduro is out, and has stated that Guaido would remain the interim president. We can get you a copy of that resolution on the part of the Venezuelan National Assembly.
Mm-hmm.
That's Anthony. Can you take note of that?
Yep, just did.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, and just wanted to add one small thing, and this also comes without litigation. It also comes with high reputational risk for banks when they're dealing with the Maduro regime. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, I understand it.
What do you? I mean, what would you? You see what we've done. I mean, with the official notice to the Fed in New York and other American banks. What do you need? Because I think the freezing. There are a lot of countries have frozen the accounts in an effort to prevent the theft of assets.
Well, maybe something like a statement of the President Trump. Maybe about that. Maybe his statement and will help us.
We can do that. We can do that, and we can also get you the actual the 25B notice to the Fed, the New York Fed.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you know, I worry. What I worry about. So if Mr. Guaido will lose the war with Maduro, and we could look like fools.
I don't think so. I mean, I guess what I'd say is this. There are a number of governments that have not yet made this decision. In the Organization of American States, for example, we have not yet done the credentials fight that we will do. Same in the UN. But what certainly I would say the Swiss government can take note of is that this is a dispute, with most Western governments having taken a side in this dispute. And if there is a dispute, then it would seem that the better wisdom would be to freeze the accounts.
By the way, I'm worried about Russian participation in this case. You know that they have some pressure on us. By the way, you are giving the money. They concerned about money of Maduro, and they worry that you will give that money to Mr. Guaido, their personal accounts.
Right. Well, we will be talking. We have been talking to them, but we'll be talking to them again this week and in coming weeks about this.
Yes. Also, I want to share some information that will be definitely important to you. It looks like we found the personal accounts of the Venezuelan leadership. So it's highly likely that the family of Mr. Maduro and his inner circle, including the military elite, in recent years, Maduro's accounts have received large amounts of money from Russia, and now they send big tranches to our banks. And so there is another aspect. In our banks, there are secret accounts of Mr. Quevedo. And if we close them, we will have problems with the OPEC.
Tell me, these accounts now. it's really not possible that the monies in these accounts are gotten legally. I mean, the president of a country cannot have hundreds of millions of dollars in a personal account, nor can all.
Not his personal account, but it's money of his inner circle.
Right, and we've actually found some accounts like that in the U.S. in the past months and years, and we've been able to freeze them. When you find these accounts, and there is an obvious reason to believe that the money is a product of illegal activities, in this case corruption, what does Swiss law require you to do?
We are sure that we will freeze that. Of course.
And then I guess there's a long legal process to determine.
I think let me see. It depends on card. It depends on concrete case.
Right. But for those accounts that you have mentioned, that you've identified as members of the inner circle, you are going to freeze those.
Yes, if we will find the real reason.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you will provide us all data, so we will freeze and.
Okay. What does that mean when you say what kind of information do you want?
I mean, it's if that money were created by crime or with another information. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of obvious in this sense. If you are a public servant in Venezuela, there's no possible legal way that you could have acquired these amounts of money. Anyway, we will get on this as well. What is the best way to be in contact with you? Is it email? What?
I think the best way is be in touch with your assistant. I also think that maybe I need to make a phone call with Mr. Guaido and discuss some problems with him.
That's a very good idea. Now, you'll need a translator, I think.
Okay.
Because he only speaks Spanish.
It's not a problem. We have a lot of interpreters, so.
But I do. I mean, he has spoken to many European heads of government, and I'm sure that he would be happy to have this conversation about safeguarding assets.
Okay, and so you have you are in touch with him.
Yes.
Okay. And also, I really would like to tell you, I really concerned about the situation in Venezuela, and I hope that military action in the country will not begin. You know, I have my opinion. If military operations will start, so if it would suddenly will happen, the price of oil will go up. So that will help Putin.
Well, yes. Help Putin and help Iran.
Yes.
Yeah. I can give you my email, or is there an email I can have for you?
Okay.
My email is at state.gov, G-O-V.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that remark.
I appreciate
your time this morning. We have some materials we will get to you, and we'll do our homework. Thank you.
Okay, let's be in touch. I will send you a test email.
Thank you much.
Thank you. Bye.